What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another episode of building the second battle of Geonosis in Lego. So since last week was a big planning week, I want to start this week out with a bang and knock out some solid progress. I'd like to finish as much of the frame as I can. I remember when I started the series, I told you guys I was going to go and do the frame of the MOC and the top at the same time and kind of just go bit by bit. But that wasn't really working for me. I was having trouble being able to build the terrain and kind of visualize what I wanted to do until I had all of it there together. So building it in little chunks just wasn't working out for me. So I decided to just crank out as much of the frame as I could, hopefully get all of the edges finished. I do also have a haul in with some new and interesting parts for Geonosis. All in all, it should be a pretty solid week. If you guys are excited and hyped for this episode, don't forget to smash that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you'll be notified of all of my future content. With all that being said, let's get into the episode. Yet another haul. I feel like I've been doing so many hauls recently. So these are all parts from Bricklink, mostly dark orange with a smattering of medium nougat. Most of this stuff is pretty run-of-the-mill bricks and wedge plates, but there are a couple of things that I wanted to point out. First one is this brick. I'm going to be trying to use these to create those spires on Geonosis. Basically, setting them up like that and then, doing just crazy angles and shapes with those. I saw Solid Brick Studios do that, and I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So we'll see how that goes. And then I got this piece. I think I might have a couple of these. I'm going to use these for like the interior of the spire, just to kind of save myself some pieces and so that I can still keep that orange look on the inside. And then I also got these little little ball turret thing. It's a half of a ball turret. I've got a few of them, and I was thinking about, just making some crazy shapes with these. Basically, I was just going through the store that I was buying from and just looking for cool random pieces that I could use to make cool shapes for Geonosis, and that's what I found. All right, it's time to jump back on the frame, the outer frame, get more of that done. So I've got a big stretch here along the back of the MOC that's pretty flat, and I'm gonna have to figure out like what to do in order to make that look good, make that look interesting. So I think I'm gonna put a lot of greebling pieces on the back there, a lot of plates, tiles, and slopes, and just try and change it up, make it look as abnormal, as natural as I can. I'm trying to use those smaller wedge plates sparingly, but they look so good, and I feel like they really help break up the square look of the MOC. Unfortunately, I have a very limited number of those, so I think I'm gonna have to order in a lot more. Once I'm done with that larger backside, I'll jump over here to the smaller side and hopefully knock out this entire rear section pretty quickly. Like I say, with a lot of these exterior freeform pieces, I do them in chunks, and I like to get the skeleton or the base down, and then I'll come back through later and then change things, take things off, add little things here and there. But I like to have the base down, so that way at least the entire MOC has a base, and I can start working on the terrain that's going to be on the top. So here's a look at what I got done on that time lapse. I'm pretty happy with how everything looks. I definitely feel like I was able to, make it look interesting and not too flat and boring, even though I have a couple of really long stretches of plate. Adding a lot of slopes, having a lot of valleys and like dips, I think really helped break it all up. And I'm pretty happy with how this looks. Honestly, I don't think I'll have that much to change when I go back through and add my final greebling and stuff. Another week comes to a close. Made pretty good building progress, so the entire frame has now been finished. Next, I will be jumping on the interior and terrain work, and I've already started on that. You can see I've got some down here, some here, and I've got the filler plate in. I might tear up a lot of this and this because I'm thinking about, continuing this ridge right here, this line of wedge plate along right here up front, and then maybe wind it back that way. I'm not too sure yet. I need more wedge plates to come in first, but I did want to point out a couple things about the frame that I've tried for the first time and I really like. So first spot is up here in the front. You can see this plate is actually at an angle. Most of this MOC is a lot of like 90-degree angles just because, that's how bricks work. I kind of got some slopes here using slopes, but you can see right there, that corner is kind of a 90-degree angle. I've got some slopes right here, but what I did right here is actually put a plate at an angle like this, and it's connected to one of these bricks. with a stud on only one side, and then I stuck it right there on the corner and then just slanted this plate back so it planes in with the plate behind it, basically creating a sloping angle that you can see right there. And I like this because it kind of gave the mock an angle that it doesn't usually have, so that way I wasn't doing the same thing over and over again. I used that same technique over here. I've got it covered up with some plate, but it works pretty well. So that's something I would suggest looking into if you're looking for new techniques and stuff to use on your freeform mocks. Just getting plates and then sticking them at angles, basically covering up your harsher 90-degree angles that you get by stacking plates next to each other. And then another thing you want to use is some slope bricks on either side to kind of plane out of that angle. That way you don't have, an angle right here and then a 90-degree angle in that direction. I kind of eased out of that angle with these different slopes and then came up around here in the front. And then with the back right here, you can see I used this slope to kind of come up to angle back to the back of the mock here. So that's pretty much everything I have to show you guys this week. I'm pretty happy with the progress that I got done. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm going through this a little faster than I would like to. I want this project to at least last me until January. So that's about a month and a week. So about, 5 more episodes. I'm hoping I can get 5 more episodes out of this. I'm guessing, the terrain will probably at least take about 3. And then you've got the cannons, setting up the minifigures. I don't want this to be over too quick because I'm going to be finishing Cato Nemoidia in February, hopefully, so I obviously don't want to start a new project in between then, and I'd like to have these running at the same time as long as possible. So we'll see. I may end up making it bigger back over here in this section, but I'm still not sure. All that being said, it's time to hit the outro. Well, another week down. It's nice to have the frame finished. I'm probably still going to tinker with some of the edges and greebling on the outside, but as far as encircling the mock, that's all finished. So now I can start on the top. And I have a bunch of parts coming in for the top of the mock, the terrain area, as well as a bunch of parts for the cannon. So I should be able to start getting into all that pretty soon. Next week for sure, we'll see a big jump in progress as I should have a lot of those parts in. That wraps up this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about this update down below in the comments. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down there. But I'll catch you guys next time. But until then, happy building.